Hello, I'm the real-life fake wizard. Stranger Things is like a sandwich. You start with 2 slices of bland, whole grain bread. You open it up expecting something inside, turkey or ham or maybe even a sad slice of Swiss cheese, but there's nothing in there. I guess Will took all the meat. So let me get this straight. The Duffer Brothers had 9 years, hundreds of millions of dollars. They had the entire entertainment industry behind them, and this is what they delivered? The final battle against a Lovecraftian cosmic godlike entity is resolved in under 12 minutes via a video game QuickTime event. This show is littered with so many glaring plot holes, questions, and mistakes that it makes Game of Thrones' finale look decent, which I can't believe I'm saying. At least Bran the Broken was an answer. A stupid answer, a terrible answer, a very bad answer. But it was an answer. Stranger Things has ended with more questions than answers, and today we're gonna go through the, I can't believe it, 99 narrative failures this show leaves behind. Today's indie game shoutout is Symphony of War, the Nephilim Saga. Enter a land ravaged by war. You, a fresh academy graduate with humble beginnings, will grow to lead a grand army against a corrupt adversary. Gather heroes, form bonds, and lead your force in turn-based battles. Make use of tactics, terrain, morale, and more to bring peace to the land. To learn more about this game and hundreds of other indie games, visit our new indie game discovery platform, fakeportal.com, or scan the QR code on your screen. Now back to the video. As we go into this, yes, we're still early on. The show just ended a few days ago. Yes, the Duffer Brothers are likely to issue retractions or bogus updates answering some of these questions, but that's weak. We're paying $17.99 a month to watch this show on Netflix. I want all the answers inside the show that we're paying for. We're about to go through a list of plot holes, inconsistencies, and unanswered questions post the Stranger Things 5 finale. So, of course, spoilers ahead, although that should be obvious. Here's a list of unresolved issues associated with dimensional mechanics and the timeline. Number 1, the Upside Down is formed on November 6th, 1983, despite Vecna's long history predating Will's disappearance. If the Upside Down is a wormhole between worlds, how was Eleven able to shove Henry directly into Dimension X in Season 4? There was no wormhole until sometime later when Eleven interacts with the first Demogorgon. Number 2, November 6th significance is hinted at throughout the final season. Does it actually mean anything? Henry has it on his Boy Scout uniform, but it doesn't seem to mean anything despite characters continually bringing it up. Number 3, the Mind Flayer's form shifts from a dust cloud in Dimension X to a kaiju flesh suit without any mechanism or explanation. Number 4, Will's birthday is March 22nd, 1971, the same day as Henry Creel's. The show acknowledges this and does absolutely nothing with it. Number 5, how did the heroes escape Dimension X? Did Eleven need to jump the rocks again? How did the kids get down? There is no scene here depicting escaping Dimension X. Number 6, at the end we see the dust particles separate from the children and float upward. Does that mean the Mind Flayer is still alive despite its body being dead? Is its body dead? Number 7, there is a 2-day escape gap from the Upside Down after the Season 4 finale that's never shown despite the obvious dangers. It looks like a nuke went off in Hawkins, but it doesn't affect anyone or anything. Number 8, if Vecna is strong enough to use his powers from Dimension X to affect Earth, why did he need to be in the Upside Down Creel house in Season 4 to attack all of the kids? Number 9, Eleven recognizes Will before the events of Season 1, suggesting some kind of unseen connection, but that's never explored. Number 10, how did Dr. Brenner prepare notes inside the Upside Down after its formation without ever entering it? Number 11, follow-up to that, why isn't the air toxic in the Upside Down anymore? In Season 1, that seems to be a big deal with discussion of dangerous spores in the air. But by the end of the series, everybody's just hiking through unprotected. Number 12, blowing up the wormhole should have sucked in Central Hawkins through the open portal. Why didn't it? 13, Characters leisurely traverse Dimension X like it's a Sunday afternoon walk in the park, ignoring the established hostilities. Why is it so safe on Dimension X? 14. Dimension X has a sun. The Mind Flayer is sleeping directly in the sunlight, but it's established through the entire series that these creatures do not like heat. Dimension X is depicted as a desert canyon. This doesn't make any sense. 15. Where are the Demogorgons? Where is any other life form in Dimension X? Why is Dimension X, the homeworld of the Demogorgon creatures, shockingly empty? 16. What happened to any other Demo Bats? They seem to have just killed Eddie and never showed up again. 17. The exotic red matter powering the Upside Down is strong enough to atomically melt the building and other people, but that doesn't affect Team Steve standing next to it at all. Why is that? Plot armor is not a good answer. 18. How did the military acquire the Mind Flayer rock without creating a wormhole? No, Duffers, I don't want a spin-off about this. You should have explained it in the show. Also, no, I'm not paying $400 a seat to see your Broadway show about something as critical as this. You should have explained this matter right here in the show. 19. In Season 4, the Demogorgon is stuck in Russia. Why couldn't it teleport away? Demogorgons teleport all the time. 20. Joyce and Hopper release some kind of dark particles in Season 4 while inside the Russian prison. What happens here? What did that mean? 21. In Season 1, the latch on the buyer's door is opened by, and I swear this is what the Duffers said, Vecna, who telepathically unlatches the door from inside Dimension X. Okay, so Vecna is strong enough telepathically to unlock doors from across dimensions, but he's not strong enough to fight a bunch of teenagers with attitude on his own home turf. 22. The tentacles are meant to be part of the hive mind, and they send signals back to Vecna. How come Vecna wasn't alerted when Team Steve entered the house in Season 4, specifically to kill him? 23. How did no one notice the flesh wall inside the Upside Down until Season 5? You kinda can't miss it. 24. How did Brenner's neck chip sever Henry's powers? And why didn't the military pursue that technology in Season 5? That's 24 plot points so far, and we're just getting started. Vecna is one of the most incompetent villains I think I've ever seen. Vecna is a villain who has been built up for 5 seasons as an existential threat, a god-tier psychic monster who can kill with his mind. And in the finale, he's reduced to a joke. None of his plans work, none of his plans are fully explained, and he loses every single fight he's in. In fact, he only wins in Season 4 on a technicality, a victory he seemingly squanders instantly for no important reason. In the end, Joyce Byers walks up to his impaled body and proceeds to hack away at his neck until his head falls off, like she's carving a Thanksgiving turkey. Joyce, we're fighting a psychic kaiju monster thing here. Take the sharpened axe. Here's a list of narrative failures with creature and villain logic. 1. Creature origins are very vague. Demogorgons supposedly come from Dimension X, but they're absent in the finale, despite being Vecna's army. Do they have a timeshare somewhere and were on vacation for this big fight? Where were the other creatures? Oh, wait a second, the Duffers explain this. Apparently, Vecna was so unprepared that he didn't summon demos. This is up there with Dumb and Dumber saying that Daenerys forgot about the Iron Fleet. Number 2, the infecting stone that turned Henry into Vecna. What actually is that? Because it's never explained. Number 3, the hive mind connection is very selective. Will's pain is only plot convenient. He feels no agony from Vecna or the Mind Flayer's death. Is this some kind of new unexplained power? Number 4, Vecna is strong enough to fight the entire military in person at the end of Volume 1, but is the weakest of the entire series in the series finale final fight. Why? Number 5, what actually are all of the tendrils and tentacles inside the Upside Down? Where did they go in the final season? If the government removed them, why didn't Vecna put down new ones? Number 6, why did Vecna allow the military to move into the Upside Down? Why did he give up all of that ground? If some demo dogs could take out tons of high-level military in Season 2, why didn't he send some dogs in to dispatch the military? Number 7, in Season 1, how did Vecna infect the Upside-Down wormhole with the most tendrils and tentacles in the entire series the moment the wormhole opens? The wormhole opens the moment 11 creates it in the beginning of Season 1, but it's already loaded with tentacles. Number 9, what triggers the Mind Flayer kaiju to wake up, and why at that moment? There is still a very wide gap between our heroes and the Mind Flayer. Also, why is it sleeping? Is it aura farming? Number 10, the Mind Flayer is reduced to brute force in the finale, losing all of its amorphous abilities from previous seasons. How and why? 11, the military can't harm demo dogs, but Rambo Nancy's M16 damages the Mind Flayer directly. How? 12, the Mind Flayer's plan makes no sense. What is the point of the abducted children? How does merging with more kids make it powerful enough to pull Dimension X into Earth? 13, follow-up. There is a major discussion about Vecna targeting Will because he thinks Will is isolated and weak. Are all 12 kids isolated and weak? Why these 12 kids? And why pick kids from the exact same class? 14, Henry has a broken leg but limps around instead of teleporting, despite having the ability to do so. 15, the Mind Flayer doesn't use its smoke form to avoid harm in the finale. Why not shift into the smoke form to avoid getting hit by all the kids' bullets? 16, Dimension X, or as they call it, the Abyss, is a barren wasteland. Why? 17, the Mind Flayer's post-merger plans are very unclear. Wouldn't merging the two planets also kill the Mind Flayer? 18, particles in blood give powers to Will, but 11 and Callie can't control the hive like Will can. Why is that? 19, further, why does 11 have the telekinetic abilities and Callie can create the illusions? Is there a specific reason why both cannot do both abilities? 20, Vecna sends Demodogs to kill Max instead of appearing himself, despite being impenetrable while physically present on Earth. 21, Vecna can create realistic illusion projections from across dimensions and while engaged in activity in the mind plane. At the same time he chases the children inside the mind plane, he also creates the illusion to trick Hopper into freeing 11 from the water tank. Why not do powerful illusions like this more often? 22. The relationship between the Mind Flayer possessing Henry is fleshed out in the Broadway play, as the Mind Flayer battles for control over Henry over the course of years. In the series finale, Henry says he and the Mind Flayer are one. Why didn't the show properly explain this relationship? Is the Broadway show optional canon to be retconned when needed? It's like Star Wars and all their books. 23. The Mind Flayer origin is completely unexplained. Where did it come from? Was it from the Abyss? Is it from Dimension X? Another planet, maybe? 24. The Mind Flayer is originally seen in particle form inside of the Upside Down in Season 2. And then it makes a flesh golem physical appearance in Season 3. Why not send infinite Demogorgons? Why are so few Demogorgons sent each time? Why so selective with the cannon fodder of each invasion? 25. Why didn't Vecna execute his Season 5 plan immediately after Season 4 rifts are created? Is it because of his injuries from Team Steve? Why did he take so long to fight back? 26. What exactly is the cause stopping Henry from entering Hawkins? They talk about needing gates all the time in Season 4, but they don't fully expand on it. Why can't Vecna cross over himself and do everything himself? 27. How did Vecna get the kids into Dimension X and into the Mind Flayer's heart chamber? Can he fly? 28. Vecna needs exactly 12 vessels. Why not fewer? Why not more? There is no explanation. 29. Camazotz isn't explained. What actually is it? What are the rules of this mental world? I imagine it's like the astral plane from X-Men, but even then, Why and how? 30. Is Kamazot's Vecna's mind? Is it Eleven's void? Are those two the same thing? Why or why not? 31. What actually would the Mind Flayer do on Earth? What are the creature's actual motivations? We're never told. 31 plot holes, just for the villains. And we're not done yet. Let's talk about every character the Duffer Brothers simply forgot existed. Here is a list of unresolved character fates and forgotten storylines. Number 1, Argyle from Season 4 vanishes after Season 4. No mention, no resolution. Number 2, Enzo escapes Russia and is never mentioned again. Number 3, Vicky has an implied breakup with Robin, but we get no details. And she's absent from the ending entirely. For a character that got so much screen time, why is her fate left so open-ended? Is her inclusion in the show sponsored by U-Haul? 4. Murray fades into the background with no resolution, which is disappointing. Number 5. Dr. Owens is completely forgotten. What happened to him? 6. Susie is never mentioned. Her breakup with Dustin is unresolved and seemingly done off-screen. 7. Dr. K's entire operation ends without closure. Her fate and her backstory remain unknown. Number 8. Where are Max's parents? And how could they afford to keep her on life support for over 18 months between seasons 4 and 5? Number 9. How did Max graduate? She was in a coma for 18 months. The No Child Left Behind Act wasn't established till 2001 during the Bush administration. Number 10. Mr. Clark has an abrupt involvement and calm debrief without any shock at learning the supernatural truth. Number 11. Why doesn't anyone care about Ted Wheeler? And his kids don't go to see him while he's in the hospital. Number 12. How in the hell did Karen Wheeler sneak past Demodogs, know where the Demodogs were going, quietly load the oxygen tanks into the dryer, and then sneak away fast enough after turning on the dryer to not be seen? Also, how is she still alive? How is Ted Wheeler alive either? Her neck exploded, and if she did survive, she should be in an extremely deep coma right now. 13. Derek's parents and sister are tied up in a barn and apparently forgotten. 14. What happened to all the pregnant women that were still inside the military facility, inside the Upside Down? Did they just get sucked out into the vacuum of space? That's 14 characters and storylines just abandoned. Kind of like they never mattered. Here's something that should bother you more than it probably does. This is a 9-year build-up for a show where nothing matters. There are no consequences in this finale. The government captures our heroes after they escape the Upside Down and then just lets them go to graduation. Here's a list of unresolved consequences and logic failures. Number 1, government leniency makes no sense. Nancy and Hopper kill soldiers but are released without consequences. Why didn't the military execute everyone involved for treason? Or maybe just to do a cover-up? This is the Reagan administration we're talking about. Number 2, Dr. K and the military are hell-bent on making more 11s inside the Upside Down, despite the fact Brenner's lab was on Earth. Why put the base inside the Upside Down? Is there a statistical benefit to that? And why act so leniently about the threats that are inside? Number 3, what happens to Will's powers post-Mind Flayer death, and why didn't they confirm whether he loses his powers or not? Number 4, Max's recovery is impossible. How did she regain her eyesight back? Number 5, Max is unfazed by Hopper's return. Last she knew, he was dead. Number 6, Hopper and Joyce know Henry pre-finale, but never mention it or react with any kind of appropriate shock. This is confirmed with the Broadway show, and the Duffers are saying they realized it off-screen. Number 7, how did they get on top of the cliff so quickly? Number 8, how did Derek fit through the small hole? Number 9, even after climbing out the exit hole from Kamazot's, they still need to be woken up one by one. What was the point of showing all the footage of them running to escape? Furthering that, number 10, in Kamazot's, Max can freely run around unscathed by her comatose and blind body on Earth. How come Derek gets winded from running around in the mental plane? This is just fat phobia at this point. 11, why is all the military mean to Derek? Number 12, Project Rainbow and the Russian plot lines are completely unresolved. 13. Mike's knowledge of the Kali Saves 11 illusion plan has such a weak indication of how he learns it that it furthers the likelihood that 11 is probably dead and everything Mike believes is conjecture. How would 11 have snuck away if the kryptonite boomboxes render all these magical heroes incapacitated? Number 14. Hopper has impossibly quick trauma recovery. The entire series has Hopper willing to lose his life or take his life. But after 11's death, he is seemingly the nicest and happiest he's ever been. 15. Will's continued connection to the hive mind is writer's convenience. The particles left Will's body in Season 2. Why does he have any kind of supernatural anything after that? Throughout Season 5, he's still connected to the hive mind. How? 16. Will is included in all of the plans despite being a spy risk through his hive link. It's a two-way door. If Will can tap into Vecna, Vecna can easily tap into Will. Yikes. 17. What happened to Eddie's body? Was it abandoned in the Upside Down? Was it ever recovered? 18. Only the protagonists know about the events happening in the world. The town has no broader awareness. What is the propaganda the town is being told, and what are people saying about it in the town? The world outside of our heroes feels stale, and it didn't in Season 1. 19, and this is a nitpick. Why are they using D20s when playing Dungeons & Dragons? The D20 dice was around then, but not made a staple of the game until the 3rd edition. 20. Mike's theory about 11's fate comes after an 18-month delay. Somebody needs to put this kid in therapy. 21. If the Mind Flayer is still alive, then a new Flayer stone can be collected again by the government, resetting the entire cycle. If this is true, then 11's sacrifice would be pointless. 22. Why is Steve's conclusion that he becomes a high school sex ed teacher? Isn't that super creepy? And wouldn't he have needed to go to college or something to get a job in education? 23. Lucas says there are no coincidences, but the finale relies entirely on coincidences. 24. Why couldn't Vecna drag Holly while inside Kamazat's? 25. 11 and Max do not hug upon reunion. In Season 3, it's established they are best friends. They share under a minute of time together. 26. How did 11 and Callie pull Max's mind back into Kamazat's? 27. And breaking down Mike's cope that 11 might still be alive, how would Callie survive long enough after being shot and bleeding out for approximately 2-ish hours, then have the strength to pull off an illusion at the same time the wormhole is collapsing, and at the same time have enough strength to pull Mike into a mind plane to say goodbye? 28. Holly's encouraging dipshit Derek to confront Henry alone is a pointless waste of time. Nothing comes of this. 29. Why wouldn't the heroes consider using the sound kryptonite machines against Vecna? Our protagonists never have problems taking out military. Why not use the military technology that's left behind? 30. The Duffer Brothers said this was going to be a dark Christmas. What did they mean by that? Because nothing happened in Volume 2 except Will coming out. That's 30 more. And as we tally up everything from each of the lists, we'll find 33 plot holes, 30 lore gaps and retcons, 20 dropped arcs, 14 convenience and logic failures, and, okay, maybe 1 or 2 nitpicks. But that puts us at 99. 99 narrative failures of Stranger Things. You know, a show or a movie, or any story really, is only as good as its plot. Stranger Things Season 1 had a strong plot, and it's only because that plot was so strong that we fell in love with all the characters. The story hit on such satisfying beats, making the characters feel like real people put into this supernatural world. But as each season progressed, it stopped being about plot and started being more about character. It stopped being about overcoming the obstacles and challenges of this supernatural fictional world and started being more about the characters complaining about my feelings. And worse than that, there are now countless plot holes left behind. Unanswered questions that are going to be poorly explained away by the writers who waited too long and didn't deliver. I made a video in November discussing the idea that people aren't going to like the ending, regardless, because expectations are just too high. When you make people wait for something, their expectations increase. I made that video with the theory that they were going to at least give us something to actually debate and discuss for a series ending. But the reality is that this whole show was just empty. Friends, if this video brought you any value and you're not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire others to do so as well, and for the love of God, cancel Disney+. Bye-bye.